me. You got to be kidding me. Oh, I mean, it's tough to beat a team twice. This Giants team? This Giants team? Now, I do understand that the Dallas Cowboys do have 5 wins this year. I do understand that not a single victory has come against a team playing above 500 football. I do believe, if I remember correctly, the combined record of the opponents they've beaten this year is 15-28. And 4 of those 5 wins have come by 20 or more points. This just shows you the level of competition that they have gone up against, even though they lost against a sub-500 team that is the Arizona Cardinals. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. There is no excuse. Zero. For the Cowboys to lose this game. You damn right they better win this game. If you lose to the New York Giants, nobody should have faith in the Cowboys and what the Giants. It's just a very, very, very sad state of affairs going on in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Anybody that drives on Route 3, going towards the Lincoln Tunnel or coming from the Lincoln Tunnel to go on Route 3 and you pass MetLife Stadium, everybody knows that area smells. It's called the swamp, okay? But you thought it was because of the swamp until the Giants went on the field this season and we realized the stench is because of them. So this is what it is, and there's no way in hell that the Dallas Cowboys should lose this game. At home, too? Oh, please. Dak with his politically correct nonsense. Oh, shut up, please.
Well, Stephen A., you're wrong. You're wrong. First of all, it's not a must-win game because if the Cowboys lose, they still got life in Week 11. They're still alive. Everything they want is out in front of them. But from the standpoint of this being competitive, it shouldn't be. There's a reason why the line is 17 points in the Cowboys' favor is because the Giants are starting a quarterback that they don't trust to throw the football. In the second half of the game against the New York Jets 2 weeks ago, Tommy DeVito had 1 pass attempt. 1. And when they let him throw the football, it's usually behind the line of scrimmage on a screen or a swing play because when he throws it past the line of scrimmage, it ends up being an interception, or I guess he's looking at a completion to the guys in different uniforms. Either way, it's nothing good. We have now entered the portion of the season for the New York Giants where the only way the team ends up losing is if they actually win games. So as a former player and a fan of the team, I want them to lose because that's the only way that they're going to get a quarterback that I actually have confidence in that they can have success long-term with. Now, as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned, if they lose this game to the New York Giants, you know what that tells me? That Mike McCarthy is on his way out and Dak Prescott's probably not far behind him. Because how could you trust that head coach quarterback tandem to accomplish your ultimate goal of winning a championship? We already saw you lay an egg against the Arizona Cardinals. If you lose to the New York Giants, a franchise that's on their 3rd string quarterback, an offensive line that can't stop a nosebleed.
Thank you for making my point.
If you have a situation where you don't have a lot of weapons outside of Saquon Barkley to get the football to, then there's no way you can trust the Dallas Cowboys to beat teams like the Philadelphia Eagles when it matters, to beat teams like the San Francisco 49ers when it matters, to beat teams like the Detroit Lions when it matters. What it would tell me is that the Dallas Cowboys can't be trusted to compete at a championship level, and the owner of the team after the season will likely be looking for a new head coach quarterback tandem in order to get him there.
CC, first of all, thank you for making my points, number 1. Number 2, there's no crime in just starting your soliloquy off by saying, yo, Stephen ain't right. Stephen ain't right. Well, trust me, it'll work for you. And number 3, as much as I like the suit, the yellow pocket square is throwing me off just a touch. But we can get to that. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey,
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm
just looking out for you, my brother. I'm just looking out.
So, Chris, you actually made Stephen A's point, but it's not a must-win for the Cowboys for a couple reasons. Number 1, it's not a must-win. You say it's a must-win, it's not a must-win. Why is that? Number 1, this is November 10th, right? There's still many weeks left in the season. And, yes, it's a game that you should win for sure, but we did see this Cowboys team lose to the Arizona Cardinals, the only win the Arizona Cardinals have. It's one of those things where it's like, man, it's the NFL. You never know what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. You expect them to win, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys, if they lose, will be 5-4, tied for 3rd in the NFC. There's not many teams in the NFC that are really excelling outside of the Eagles. And so if the Cowboys lose this game, it'd be embarrassing for the team, embarrassing for the fans, embarrassing for whoever. But it's still November, early in November. You have to find ways to win later. And so my point is this, like, it sounds like a game that you have to win. DeVito's a quarterback. You're beating under 500 teams, et cetera, et cetera. But when it just comes down to not necessarily X's and O's, but like your actual record when it matters, it's going to matter as the season progresses. And it's also going to matter Not as much right now because no team has separated themselves outside of the pack. If you're fighting for a wild card spot, let's say you don't win the division, you're not fighting necessarily against the Eagles, you're fighting against all the other teams. And so my point is this, it's not about the Giants per se in a game that you should win. It's about, do you have to win this game to do what? Not for faith or perception or whatever, but to actually make the playoffs and win in the playoffs and, yes, build confidence. But it doesn't matter what anybody else on the outside thinks if the Cowboys win or lose this game. It matters what happens when it really matters. December football, January football, and February football. Stephen, it might be problematic if you lose, but it's not accurate to say that this would be a reason why you should get rid of a head coach and or quarterback. Dak Prescott played awesome last week. He's playing some of his best football. If you say, okay, man, we lost to the Cardinals, we're 1-8, lost to the Giants. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Lost to the Cardinals, 1-8, lost to the Giants, but all of a sudden, let's say they go on a run. Let's say I'm not saying they lose, but let's say you go on a run starting next week or starting in December and you get hot and you win and you win the playoffs. So you go to the Super Bowl. No one's going to talk about these losses. Yes, they will be embarrassing for the fans. The fans will, right? I live in Dallas.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, you will. Let me finish first. I live in Dallas. Every time I walk into the gym, this lady who works in the gym, she's like, oh, you're talking about, I just moved from Chicago to Dallas, right? So all the fans, boom, boom. They're like, hey, man, my Cowboys, my Cowboys. When they lose, they hide. When they win, they're here, right? So the fans it'll matter to the fans. But if this team finds ways to win, not now, I'm talking about December football, January, playoff football, no one will remember what happened in September when you lost to the Cardinals or even now.
You see.
Go ahead.
You see, that's the problem. I'm coming to you, CC. I'm coming to you right now, CC. See, this is the problem. This is the problem with authors like Sam Acho. They write so much that they try to talk as much as they write. You see what I'm saying? And they think they try to get away with the nonsensical drivel that came out of his mouth. Let me tell you something, Sam Acho. You can bring all of that all you want to. And CC, I'm going to throw it to you because I want to hear from you on this one. What if I'm able to look at 1 or 2 losses that denied me home field advantage? I've been having problems on the road, and as a result, I end up playing on the road in the postseason because the team I'm playing against had 1 more victory than me because I lost to the damn Giants with Danny DeVito at the quarterback. But Danny. The point is, CC, what if that happens? I'm not going to hold that against you. If I'm an owner, you damn right I'm going to hold it against you.
That's not the point. Chris, give me 1 second to respond to him and I'll let you go. Stephen A., home field advantage does not guarantee playoff success. Yes, you might look at the Kansas City Chiefs say, well, they've had home field, they've made it, but it doesn't guarantee it. All that a player wants, and Canty will tell you this because he's been there and he's done that, I have as well. All a player wants is a chance in the dance. Period. Give me a chance. Give me a wild card spot. Sure, give me home field. Give me an opportunity. It matters. But if you give me a chance,
I can't roll with you on that one. I hear you. I can't roll with you on that one. I won a championship. Having that home playoff game in the wild card round mattered against the Atlanta Falcons rolling in there with Matt Ryan.
Damn right.
That absolutely makes a difference. It's hard as hell to go on the road 3 straight weeks and win in your conference and then go on the Super Bowl. Unless you got Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, somebody like that.
Or Nick Foles.
Or Nick Foles.
2018.
For the Dallas Cowboys, it's not just about stacking regular season wins.
No.
We done seen them do all of that. It's about positioning yourself to go on a deep playoff run, and you want to be in position once December comes to challenge for the division because you do have another matchup with the Eagles, and you're hoping that it goes a little bit differently at the end when you get them in your building. But the fact that you would drop the game to them and then turn around and lose to a division opponent that is waving the white flag on the season because they're trading away players at the deadline, that is absolutely inexcusable, and I think that's a prelude to another disappointing end for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a team that has to operate with a lot more urgency because of how the last 2 postseasons ended at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers. If you lose to an inferior Giants team, then how in the world can we trust you to win when it actually matters the most? So here's the thing. The season ain't over if they lose against the Giants on Sunday.
2 points real quick.
But why would we trust that this season is going to end the way they would expect if they can't beat the teams they're supposed to beat?
Thank you. 2018 playing with Chicago Bears. We had home field advantage for the playoffs. We ended up losing to who? Nick Foles and Philadelphia Eagles. What do? They go and win a Super Bowl without home field as a wild card team. That's what they did without home field, number 1. Point number 2, then I'm done. If the Cowboys find a way to get home field advantage.
What are you talking about? When they won the Super Bowl, they had home field.
But I'm saying they won in the playoffs. They won in the playoffs without home field advantage. They got there without home field advantage. They won without it, is my point.
They were at home, though.
But my point is, in the wild card game, when they beat the Bears, they found a way to win as a wild card team without a home field advantage.
No, that's the wrong season, Acho. That's
We
the
got to
wrong
go to
season.
break. We got to go to break, Mr. Chicago. Mr. Dallas.
If the Cowboys do get home field advantage and they end up losing in the playoffs, the conversation will be the same.
Okay.